Welcome to Teachers, brought to you by Lutheran Education Association. One of the favorite things for LEA is to bring teachers together, and we have a great group here to discuss today. Let's go ahead and do introductions, and we'll start with Krista.
Hi, I'm Krista Barnhouse. I am principal and head of schools at Faith Lutheran School and Touching Hearts Early Childhood Center in Lincoln, Nebraska. Julian.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Julian Petzold. I'm the principal here at Trinity Lutheran School in Clinton Township, Michigan. All right, Aimee?
Hi, I'm Aimee Dierks. I'm the director of Amazing Grace Early Learning Center in Oxford, Florida. Suzanne?
And I'm Suzanne Braun, and I teach kindergarten at Christ Community Lutheran School in St. Louis.
Well, and thank you to all four of you for the time you've given us today. We've had two great discussions, so if you haven't checked them out, you'll want to look for them. The first one, we talked about growth in our staff and in students that happened because of this big change. And our last one, we were talking about problem solving. Very good discussion, lots of good food for thought and lots of encouragement. And now we're turning our attention to parent relationships. And I was thinking about parent-teacher conferences when I used to do them years ago and how much I enjoyed them. But the parent-teacher conferences of today would have been completely flipped, because it wouldn't have been the teachers who spent all the time with the students in the classroom sharing with the parents what happened. It would have been the other way around. So when something big like that happens, I can only imagine that it begins to change that working relationship between the teacher and student's family, and between the school and all of their families. So what kind of changes have you noted?
Well, I want to jump right in on this one, Kim, because, and you guys, and I hope your experience is different. I miss the parents of my kids. I really do. We set things up intentionally to try to streamline things for parents to make it easier, that they would work primarily with the classroom teacher and work with their child's teacher and get things. I do a weekly newsletter email and send that out each week like normal, but I've made it bullet points. I've tried to make it real clean and clear and not a lot of verbiage, but just real data and help them, and just to let them know I'm always here for them. But we have 60 to 80 parents come in the building every morning to drop off, and I see them all, and I see them at dismissal, and I talk, and it's been awful for me. I miss my parents a ton because I'm not working with them like I was as administrator, and I think that's best for them in a lot of ways, but it's not been good for me, I'll tell you that right now. But it's about them, right? But I do miss them. So I don't know about you guys and how your experience has been.
Well, kindergarten parents drop their kids off. So just that whole morning routine of greeting everybody, checking on, that part was it's kind of leaves an empty spot. And knowing, early on, I sent a message to my parents. Kim wrote an amazing blog. I can't refer the name of it, but I sent it to my families, and it gave them permission to just be, it was okay to be upset and sad, and your children, everything, our world has turned upside down. And just seeing them day before yesterday, or I don't know what day is it, maybe it was last week, I don't know. We did a little parade, and just to see all the smiles, and not just on the children's faces, but the parents were smiling. That still is stuck with me. But yeah, just to miss those family relationships, and just to find out, the little stuff of life that you totally missed.
Yeah, I think, go ahead, Krista.
Go ahead, Aimee. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Okay. So I just think the relationship piece is so critical to what we do, and to have that just taken away from us has been so difficult. So we've had to intentionally plan, how are we going to connect with these parents, like Julian said, to just give them our support, to keep pouring Jesus into those families when they're not with us every day again. But like you said, we're just missing everything. Like, how was your vacation? How's the new baby? It's different. You just don't pick up the phone to call them. So missing that piece is hard. So again, the intentional doing a parade, or we send videos, our outreach from our church had them come and give them a gift while our teachers cheered for them. Again, the parents were so happy and the kids were excited. Just it's been rough.
Yeah.
I think that we always work real hard to partner with parents. That's what we always talk about. We're here for you. We want to be a resource for you. We partner with you in your child's education. And I think that has truly been the case. It really has forced us to partner with parents, to think with intentionality. How are we connecting with families? How are we communicating with them? How do we make sure that they know that we care for them, that we respect them? It's easy sometimes to get caught up in what we wish parents would do as educators, and yet now we had to look at it a little bit differently. And I think we developed a greater appreciation for what parents are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I think that we recognize parents really as being the primary educators of their children, and how can we walk alongside them and equip them when they were at home, and how do we make sure that continues to happen even when we're able to do education on our own campuses once again? Because I think that was a really important piece for us to learn and to experience, and we don't want to lose that and just go back to, okay, now they're back in the classroom, the educator will take care of everything. No, it's really a partnership, and that's what we want it to be.
Krista, I think that's a good point about the partnership and how you work on that. And I just wonder what things are going to be like, and how different it might be in that partnership. I mean, one of the things I think about is, some of the parents go, here, you can have them back, because they're just delighted to not have, but the amount of respect, the amount of togetherness, and the understanding of how difficult certain things are to teach and to help kids learn, and to have to be sitting on your kids to get their work done, and they're not coming to school and being held accountable by a teacher or whatever. I just wonder what that's going to be like, and what that's going to change in the overall dynamics of the relationship when when we're back. And Aimee, maybe it's too early for you to notice anything, only being back for a couple of days, but I just wonder what that's going to be like.
It's been great to have them back. We opened 2 days ago. We reopened, and so the parents were just overjoyed to come back. Some of them look very tired, and so again, like you said, we need to partner with them in their education and their support. So right now, I'm connecting as much as I can with my mask on. What can we do for you? What do you need? They can't come in the classrooms to continue building the relationship and getting their kids settled, but I can be outside with them, and we can still be. We use this Bright Wheel app where the parents can communicate with the teachers throughout the day. And right now, it is like the first day of school. They're like, how are they doing? Because they miss their kids now that they're with us again. So getting that trust back from the parents, or continuing the trust with the parents, and reassuring them that everything's okay. God's got this, and we've got this too.
Right.
Well, and I think that's where technology also comes in to help. Like, a few of my educators did special parent Zoom meetings. And so at a time, maybe in the evening, parents, what questions do you have for me? As you look over plans for the day or for the week, how can I be a resource? What can I help you with? It's interesting because, like, in our 5th grade class, usually in March and April is when we have sex education. And we weren't in school. So it was like, okay, how are we going to do this? And so she put together all of her materials and that, and informed parents. Many of the parents have had her before, so they're familiar with this. But she did a special Zoom with parents. And I said, this really is what this should be. That it's not, I'm going to send my kids to school and you teach them about all of that. But no, how can we equip you as parents to have some of those discussions with your children that we hope are happening at home, but we don't know? well, now they're going to have to happen at home, and so here's the PowerPoint, here's some resources. Let me Zoom with you ahead of time and share some things with you to hopefully help equip our parents as educators of their children as well.
I think there's a whole new level of respect for parents and teachers with each other right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you understand each other's roles a little bit better.
For sure.
And so that makes empathy a little bit easier. Instead of just imagining what's happening, you're finding out. And I know that each of you are at a school that's just doing an exceptional job. And I wonder if those kind of schools don't more easily fall into, let's just let the teachers handle it, because the teachers are so good. And then that kind of makes parents a little bit lazy to think about those kind of things. But I really like to see, especially in the area of faith teaching, that we bring parents into it a lot more. And my only foray into this is that I've been recording children's messages for church, and I kind of changed them around about halfway through. Instead of me talking to the kids, I gave the parents an activity and a way they could connect that to faith. And have you thought about those kind of things? How can you help this to make some changes next year?
I think that is a big part of it, as educators, to not just focus on what we want the students to do, but how can we equip parents? How can we give some specific things, like in our newsletters? Many of my classroom educators say, here's some questions to ask your children related to what they've learned in class. How can we be more intentional in some of that and really kind of give parents a glimpse into their child's education? We've tried to do that the last couple of years at Faith, because we do some things that are a little bit different than what most parents grew up with, especially in literacy and in reading and those kinds of things. And so we've done some special nights or things like that. But how can we expand that? How can we invite parents into what we do and really have a true partnership with them and equip them to be educators of their children? Yeah. We're trying to work through that. We're having our end of the year meetings next week, and that's going to be a huge topic for my staff.
Well, what you don't want is for a parent to say, my child goes to a good Christian child care center or a good Lutheran school, so we're done. No.
So interesting, like we all had to go to school to be teachers, the doctors have to go to school. No one has to go to school to be a parent. And I think we've kind of realized that we can't just be like, why aren't these parents doing this? They don't always have the skills that we've been trained or our teachers have been trained to do. So like you said, Krista, to give them those skills and to equip them, I think it's critical. I think moving forward, that's what we're going to continue to do, especially at our early childhood, that age, well, all age, I think social emotional learning is so key. And so that's what we're going to be working on with our parents in addition to the children next year.
And especially in faith formation, and in biblical teaching, that's what the Bible calls, the parents are the primary educators of their children, especially in faith formation. So how can we walk alongside them and encourage and equip them in that?
And also expect them to do it.
Correct.
To let them know, we expect you to do this. That's, it was easy when I taught kindergarten to say, I expect you to go over letter sounds with your kids. Well, they knew that was going to be, but wow, to say, I expect you to share God's word with your children.
And then to answer, well, how do I do that?
And I shared your thing, Dr. Marxhausen, as well. So with our parents, they loved it. They thought it was such a wonderful resource. So I think if we could collaborate that way too. Just how are you doing it? How can we help each other? So thank you.
Well, it's time to wind this up. I hate to do that because we've had 3 excellent discussions, and maybe we'll just bring these folks back again for some more discussion. But we really hope that what we've talked about here just plants some good seeds in administrators and teachers out there who are just overwhelmed from the last few months and looking ahead to some of the challenges that are going to be coming up. God is with us. He is helping us to grow. He is using the gifts he's given us, and he's probably slipped in a few more new gifts too, because he loves us and he cares about our ministry. So thank you to Aimee and Krista and Julian and Suzanne. I'm Kim Marxhausen, And we talked a little bit about my blog. That's Faith Parent. If you want to look for that one, I'm happy to support teachers, just as LEA does. And LEA is near and dear to my heart because it's helped me so much. And all of us want you to know that LEA is there for you too. Thank you for tuning in.